Hi everyone, welcome to Special Interests with Bob and Donna, Bob Banfelder and Donna Durasmo. For those of you who haven't been to our channel before, just to let you know who we are. I am a retired educator with the New York City Board of Education, and Robert is an award-winning crime thriller novelist and outdoors writer. He's a member of the Outdoor Writers Association of America, the New York State Outdoor Writers Association, and we are both members of two fishing game clubs, Newfield Rod and Gun Club and the Trumansburg Fishing Game Club up in central New York, a beautiful spot where we vacation once in a while.
And where presently?
We're presently on Riverhead, Long Island, and like everyone else, because today is, March 22nd, a little bit after St. Patty's Day, we are hunkered down and we are trying to do the best we can, getting a lot of things done since we're kind of homebound. We're fine, and we do go out to the stores, but we limit it.
And so are the stores. They're limited.
They're limited. Yeah, well, we'll get through this, folks. But since you're probably hunkered down like we are, there are three things that you could be doing. You can cook, you can read a good book, and we'll talk about some of his good books, and you can watch Special Interests with Bob and Donna. We're an eclectic channel. We do cooking. We do talking about more serious matters with gun control, etc., etc. Death penalty, and Bob has talked about his books. So Bob's books have been likened to very famous authors such as David Baldacci, Jeffrey Deaver, and of course the most prolific crime thriller author, James Patterson. So if you like those authors, you're going to like his books too. In addition to the 9 novels that he has written, he's written 4 handbooks on spin bait and fly fishing and fly tying, hunting, big and small game hunting, and bow fishing and bow hunting, as well as a book on writing and getting published. So if you're interested in any of those topics, all of his books are available on Amazon. You can go to Amazon.com and look up Robert Banfelder, or if you just plug in Banfelder, that would be terrific. And I'll spell that for you. It's Banfelder. Okay, so now Bob is presently working on his 10th novel. It's a serial killer novel, who is into cooking. And the novel is going to have the best recipes for the 5 mother sauces. So if you are a serious chef out there, tune in to that book. He is also going to put 10 of the favorite recipes that are mentioned in the book at the back of the book.
Our favorite recipes.
Our favorite recipes. But today, he is going to share with you his perfected tacos. Stay put tacos. Sometimes we bake tacos and everything falls out the bottom. He has figured out a way where none of the ingredients inside the taco shell falls out of the bottom. Now you may be wondering, why do we have beer sitting here? Well, beer goes very well with tacos, but if you notice, I'm going to let Bob talk about these beers because they're Irish beers, and he picked up a case of some Irish beers from, I think it was Costco.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to share those with you. They go great with tacos.
Okay, am I on?
You're on, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a beer drinker. He's the beer drinker.
I got a kick out of this. Number one, we went to Costco's about a week and a half ago, and the meat section, very, very long section. So when you talk about it being 1/3 empty and some of our favorite cuts of meat were not there, a couple weeks later, like presently,
They're stocked.
They're stocked. They're well stocked. But we knew we weren't going to be going to any St. Patty's Day party. So
you had your own party?
We had our own party. And of course, many of us know about Guinness, okay? Guinness Stout, a draft, very, very creamy, very, really, really a nice beer. Many of us are familiar with that. So it was a case. It was 18 bottles in a case, so they gave you, you know, six times
Guinness
3.
and 6. We were corrected on the pronunciation.
Right, and I'm
on
going to
this
tell
one.
you who that was.
Our son's Irish girlfriend.
Yeah. It's Smithwicks. So I said, Smithwicks. Oh, no. The Irish girl tells us. She said the W is silent, so it's Smithwicks.
Smithwicks.
And this is an ale, okay? A red ale. So we have the ale, we have the stout, and of course many of you have heard about the Harp Lager. And they're all wonderful. So I got
6 of each, case of 18 to celebrate St. Patty's Day.
And along with that, in the mail came a card from our son and his girlfriend.
No, that's from Diane and Larry.
Oh, that's from Diane and Larry.
But you shared it with Luce. You shared it with Luce and Jason, yes.
All right. Know what you have when you have a green beer
in each
hand. A chance of doubling your fun. Ha ha ha. Happy St. Patty's Day, Diane and Larry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Almost
and
made a
Princess.
there.
So we got hugs and licks. Princess is their little dog.
Okay.
Okay, so I did, a couple of minutes ago, I did mention Bob's book, so I'm just going to get up for a second and I'm going to pan over to his little library there to show you what we're talking about and tell you a little bit about his books. If you can see them, they're on a little table in our living room here. The first 3, Dickie, Richard, and I, The Signing, and The Triumvirate is the first trilogy. And then comes The Author, The Teacher, Knots, and The Good Samaritans. It's a 4-book series featuring a African-American maverick, Justin Barnes. He's one of my favorite characters. Trace Evidence is a book that stands alone, and that was the book that Bob wrote after spending 15 months as a spectator on the Robert Shulman serial killer trial here in Riverhead at criminal court. A lot of court scenes, very real. There is embellishment because it is a novel, but you might be interested if you are interested in court scenes, etc., etc. And next is Battered. This is about a domestic violence victim whom Bob had corresponded with. I guess we'd call her a pen pal over the course of a couple of years. And this is like her story and how justice didn't serve her well. Then we have the Fishing Smart Anywhere Handbook for saltwater and freshwater. Bullseye, the Smart Bow Hunter's Handbook. That includes bow fishing that I mentioned. And the North American Small and Big Game Hunter's Smart Handbook.
Okay, and when we talk about the fishing book, it covers spin, bait,
Yes,
fly,
I did say that.
and fly tying.
And
Okay?
the last one that's standing up here is the Essential Guide to Writing Well and Getting Published. So I think now, you think we're ready to go into the kitchen?
I think so.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit.
Okay, today we're going to be making chili. Well, the chili is actually made, we'll talk about that, and then we'll be putting together some tacos. And what I suggest is that you get the stand and stuff type, the stand and stuff kind. You'll notice that the bottom is flat. And if some of you have played around with this, you've made your tacos and then you pick it up and half of it falls out because this gets soggy. I'll show you down the pike. We'll be doing a trick to prevent that from happening. Now, I'm going to brag about my chili and my tacos. Back in Queens, in Bayside, Queens, Donna and I put together part of a bar. It wasn't a bar, restaurant, really. It was a bar, and I was pretty well known for the tacos, but that was short-lived, short-lived, because some game playing with the proprietors. So I just did this for friends, acquaintances, and of course ourselves. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to have you make your sauce the way you want, but basically here's what we use. We use the Cento San Marzano, and in our other shows we talked about tomatoes, these peeled tomatoes, and this is easy to get, nothing short of okay for a chili. But if you're preparing a special sauce, you'll go to one of our other shows, and I've spoken about this at length. This is the real deal. These are the real San Marzano tomatoes. So is that to say that this is sort of phony baloney? Well, yes it is. And the other show, one of our other shows, or a couple of our shows, cover that. Okay? So this is what I want you to focus in on, Donna. Let's just put this in abeyance because we won't be using this. I just wanted to mention the real deal. Hard to get, but we order it by the case. Okay, so some chopped meat to start. Garlic, onion, both black beans, and the dark red kidney beans go into the sauce. Some olive oil. We got virgin olive oil. We have a pretty good grade of olive oil here. And this is already cooked up. So Donna, if you'll just focus in on this.
You forgot to tell them about the onion and the cumin.
Oh, okay. So thank you. That's why you're here. Okay.
Other
So
than holding
white
the camera.
onion and the
Cumin.
cumin or cumano.
Cumino.
It's the Spanish.
Spanish,
right?
Yes,
Same thing. Okay.
yes, that goes into your chili.
Okay. So
let's take a
this
look
is made up
Very
already.
nice.
I made this morning.
Okay. And your
uh,
chili peppers are in here too, are they not?
Right. Right. And that's what I want to show. In a moment here. These are called guajillo. Am I pronouncing it right, Donna? These are your Spanish chilies, Mexican chilies, and it's spelled Guajillo chilies. Guajillo is the pronunciation. And of all the peppers that we have experimented with over the years, we find this to be really the best for us. That's our taste. And you can play around with this. If this wasn't spicy enough, this wasn't hot enough, not temperature-wise, but taste-wise, I would put another one of these in, a big one or a small one. You can play around till you get it to the point where you want it. Okay, so that pretty much covers the chili. Again, you'll be doing it the way you would like to do it. And let's go look at this colorful array of ingredients that we'll be putting into the taco. So here we have some, these are the cured olives, and I cut these up into quarters. So they're about the size of a pointer fingernail. And the same thing with the green olives. with pimentos. Donna cut these up this morning. I worked on the black ones. We have here some tomatoes chopped up. Unfortunately, we couldn't get our hands on the plum tomatoes. They kind of cut nicer and without getting too wet. But we used regular tomatoes, in a pinch. Here we have bell pepper, green and white, cut up.
Green and red.
Green and red, cut up. Here we have the red onion and scallions, okay? And, of course, this is a must, the grated sharp cheddar cheese. And you'll be using much more of the cheese than what you see here. So what Donna did was she cut up some more, and we just put this on a side here because as you'll be grabbing to stuff your shells, you'll need more of the cheese. So you could add carrot. We haven't done that, but you could use your own discretion and put some of the ingredients that you might like in your taco. So there's the carrot. And let's go over here and just go over this once again. You saw the finished array here. Here's our cured olives, oil cured olives, our red onion, our scallions, lettuce. This is a must. It's not in here, and there's a reason for it. You want to do this fresh at the last moment. Cut up your lettuce and put that on. We got the red and green bell pepper here. We got the tomato, and we have the other olives. These are the olives with Spanish olives with pimento in here. And backing up a minute, I said sharp cheddar. If you can get the extra sharp cheddar cheese, it's just got more of a punch to it. So that's very, very nice cheese there. Okay, so we'll be back in a little while. Left out one of the most important ingredients, not an ingredient that goes into the makings of this, but you can't cook without it. So we'll go over here, and I get a nice dry red wine. Just pour a little bit because I got some stuffing and cooking and everything ahead of me. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, good morning or almost afternoon. You may be wondering where we are here with a ruler and a pen. My coffee, it's too early for wine. The tacos we looked at yesterday. What we're going to do, this is going to be the magic for preparing these tacos and then taking them out of the oven and not having the contents fall through. So I'm going to show you how simple this is. I have a couple I could just say do this, do that, but I'm going to just do one so that you'll see. This is the heavy-duty non-stick foil, and you'll note that it has a shiny side and it has a dull side. Okay, your food goes on the dull side so that it doesn't stick. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to open this up. Matter of fact, take it out of the box, be easier. And you'll note that the roll is 12 inches long. Okay, and we'll take out a taco shell. Know how they do this. They put a little piece of cardboard in here so that they don't break. And in all the years, I said I never had a broken one, but the edge of this is broken. Of course, it's going to make me look bad. Okay, but never had a cracked one. So This is 12 inches, and interestingly enough, this is going to be 6 inches here. Okay. Or it's going to be a little bit longer because we want a tag. So when we pull this out so that the food doesn't stick, which we'll look at in a little bit here, you want this half of the length, then you'll have a little tag on each end. Okay, so half of 12 is 6. What we're going to do is to make these 1.5 inches wide. We started doing this at 1 inch, putting a 1 inch strip instead of 1.5, and it worked like nothing short of okay. It just works better if you have a little bit of a wall, and that's why we're going to go to 1.5 inches. So we'll simply mark this. Now I have lead. We don't want lead. For those of you who are getting a little nervous here, you know, it's just going to mark this here 1.5. Come down here, mark this 1.5. And watch how easy this is. This is just so easy to do. We're going to make 2 strips, okay? And we just carefully peel this back. Okay, smooth it out. Measure half of 12 at the 6 point. 6 inch mark, make a little mark. Look how easy this is. Now, you're all set for 2 tacos, all right? So, talk about the ruler a little bit. I don't want to belabor this and say you have to go running out and buy this, but this is a dual rule, 18-inch ruler, and the reason why I like this is because on the other side, we have what, Donna? Is this a cork?
Cork.
Okay. And it doesn't slide. I've had other ruler and it slides all over. This makes, I've had this, what, 25, 30, 35 years, something like
Easily.
that. And we checked it out just to make sure if I'm going to be talking about it, I don't want to talk about something that's archaic, antiquated, that you can't get anymore. They have this if you feel that you must get this, but of course you don't. So let's go into the kitchen and see what kind of trouble we can get in there. Okay. I put these together, but I'll explain how I layered them. Besides the foil, to make it so that the ingredients don't fall through, there's a way to layer this. Oh, and Dawn, if you can just focus in on this one. See, the tag is sticking out. We're going to be able to grab that later on here. Under the lettuce here a little bit, I can, pull that out. You'll see how easy this is to do. But let's talk about the layering. Yesterday, we looked at this, and after we left you, after we got off camera, you can see that Don and I finished quite a bit of. We had about, I think we had 8 of them last night, 4 apiece, and then I used the rest of this that's left over to stuff, and we'll talk about that in a second. Again, the lettuce, you leave the lettuce for last because it's going to turn if you leave it in the refrigerator for a couple of days. You don't want that. You want a nice green, crisp look. Okay, put that over here. So, the first thing we use this. Let's put this here, Don. First thing we did was we took the onion family, and that was the scallion and the red onion. We mixed them together, and that's the first layer that I put down there, okay? It doesn't have a lot of water content, okay? Some of you may be thinking way ahead of me and say, well, Bob, you know, why don't you just take the lettuce and instead of using the foil, just use a strip of the lettuce and put the ingredients on top of that. Too much water. It just soaks through, and it, when you pick this up, it'll fall apart. So that's why we don't do that. So we go from the red onion scallion that's on the bottom of this taco, and then we put the lettuce on top of that, and then we go to our olives, and we have the Spanish Spanish olives with pimento. They're stuffed with pimento. And here we have the oil-cured olives, the black oil-cured olives. And doesn't matter whether you do this first or this first, but those are your next two layers. What I did was I used the green first with the pimento, and then I put the black on top. Really doesn't matter. Then the tomato went on top of that, and then the chili. You saw the pot that we had here yesterday.
We put the pepper on top of the olives, honey.
Oh, did I miss again?
You
That's
missed a
why
beat.
you're here. Okay, and so we have our bell peppers, the red and the green, and you can see how I slice these up here.
Yeah, they go on top of the olives.
They go on top of the olives. Thank you, Donna. And then we put the tomatoes on here. And remember, the plum tomatoes are the preferred. They're firm. They don't have that water content like these do. So what we did this morning, after last night, let this sit in the refrigerator. It got really watery. So Donna took these out, put them on a paper towel, absorbed the water, put this back in here before we stuffed. Okay. Then the chili goes on top of that, next to last. Okay, and I took what you saw the big pot of chili I made. If you're going to spend that kind of time, make a big pot, and you can have chili on the side, make a beautiful chili dish, whatever. But I just used a ramekin to put the chili in. Just made life easier. So I had all my contacts here. Just picture this with the chili, and so the chili went on. And then lastly, the cheddar cheese went on. And remember, we talked about this yesterday. If you want more of a punch, just the sharp cheddar cheese is nice. The extra sharp cheddar cheese is what I'd like you to look for that nice punch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, finish my coffee. I'm going to preheat my oven here. I'm going to bring this up to 375, Donna. Okay, that's what we've been doing, and we'll come back. See you in a moment. Okay, we're about ready to look at our tacos here. I had the oven set for 375 for 7 minutes. 375 for 7 minutes, you're done. So let's see if we are done. Get this out. I want to focus in on that. Cheese is nice and melted. Okay. All right. Let's see. Now we'll talk about this rack in a moment, but let's just get one of these out here. See, if I had picked this up with the way we used to do them, everything would fall through the bottom. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to take this. Remember, the foil side touched the food. Okay, pull this out. Look how nice. Look how nice and clean that comes out. And now I'm going to take a bite of this.
Delicious.
Wonderful. As soon as I chew this, I'll talk.
They are good, folks.
They're delicious. I've been doing these a long time. Perfected it. These were the best tacos in town I told you about. Bayside, many, many, many moons ago. So we just do this now for ourselves, family, friends. Okay. The rack, you'll get a better here. These you can't get anymore through Weber. The Weber grill. When we bought the Weber grill, came with a booklet, and you can just set up your own. You can get something similar through Weber. It's not the same. However, Donna, you did some research, and what was the name? What did you find?
This, I found it on eBay.
Find everything on eBay.
Find everything on eBay. Anything that's not manufactured anymore. And somebody had it for sale for $23 or $24.99, and it's an adjustable roasting rack. That's what it is.
I would do the spare ribs on here. All kinds of stuff. So it doesn't have to be this one. You don't have to run.
And you can see that these metal, these three-pronged metal inserts come out.
They do.
So they come out like that, and then you can adjust how many you need, which is really nice. Too bad they don't make it anymore.
And what I like about this here, my tacos got. So you can't eat. You have to hold the camera. But you had your fill last night, huh? I'm telling you. Delicious.
Delicious, delicious. Okay.
Delicious.
Okay, and the rack holds these tacos nice and upright, and leaving the airspace in between, so it works well.
When I serve company, I put two into this oval dish. And no, it's like the potato. Oh, I bet you can't eat just one type of thing. You give them two, give company two. You want another one? Oh yeah, well, okay, I'll have another. They'll have four for sure. Guys will generally push for a fifth or a sixth, like no problem. The women kind of like, oh, I'd love another one, but I shouldn't, type of thing. They're really delicious. So, let's see what else. Okay, again, because the taco has that flat bottom, we've gone over that, you could figure out something to put in.
Make them stand up.
Put in a lasagna dish with the foil and just put one against the other. You could probably do that, but I love this setup. And when we have company, I'll have 8 going, and it's no problem. While they're eating, I come back here and I have them already prepared like this, put together like this, and then cook them up. Okay, so that's about it. We're going to be doing other recipes. Remember my book that we talked about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at some of our other food channels. I came up because people were emailing me, calling me, and saying, so what's the title of your next book? Well, it won't be out, probably be about a year. I'm on like 42nd, 43rd chapter. We're talking about 160, 170 pages. And if you do the math on that, they're like 3, 4 page chapters because people, a lot of people, and I'm learning, took me a long time to learn this, they don't want to be inundated with description and a 10-page chapter. So my chapters, real fast, and my novels, all of my novels, 9 of them, this will be the 10th, are page turners. So it's Robert Banfielder. And Donna, you can tell them how to get onto my website.
Oh, well, it's robertbanfelder.com, and I'll put a link down in the description. And the newest book will have recipes in it because the serial killer is an aficionado of cooking. So.
And no body parts or anything like that, no nonsense like that. But the book is going to be interesting in that it's going to be the novel, and in the back it's going to have our 5 mother sauces. Very important to cooking if you're a serious cook. You learn how to make those sauces. You make a very nice meal into a sensational meal. Okay, so take care.